I think that 69ing is overrated and it sucks. Yeah. Yeah, you see that? Some people clap, and some people are like, arrest this man. But listen, the story of why is more important. Do you remember when you first heard about it? I do. I was in 3rd grade, and that's too young, all right? One of the older kids told me, and I was like, what? At the same time? I almost had a seizure. I didn't know what he was saying. I didn't even have references so I could pretend like I understood. I was like, that's like eating a cheeseburger covered in ice cream while you're taking a shitter. And he was like, that's exactly what it's like. From that day on, I was hooked. When I tell you I was obsessed, I was obsessed. I'm not saying it for a story. It is all I talked about, thought about, dreamt about, sung about, joked about, 69, 69, 69, 69. Every notebook in school, I was like, 69, 69, 69, 69. Every sports team I was on, I was like, I'm number 69. And they're like, this is 5th grade basketball. Why don't you chill out, buddy? Every birthday, every Christmas, my dad goes, what do you want? I go, I want a 69. He goes, shut up and stop saying that. And I was like, no, defiant, no. 69, 69. It's gonna be the best, be the best, be the best, be the best, be the best. 69. It's gonna be like smoking meth out of God's dick. I wanna do it, I wanna do it, I wanna do it. And I built it up, and I built it up, and I built it up. And when I finally got to do it, You know what the first thing I said was? Get off me, all right? My neck hurts. I can't get my nose out of the way. Does it feel good? It feels like I'm working, all right? It'd feel better if you flipped over and polished me off, and then I'll do you. Why is it gotta be at the same time? Are we late for something? Is the youth pastor coming back in a few minutes? Let's take turns like we learned in kindergarten. What type of maniac 69s as an adult? I mean, if you're a guy, I hope you're at least a gentleman about it and you lay on your back and you're not one of these savage fucking pigs who's like, I prefer this angle. And then you can hear the fight to live underneath you. And you're like, yeah, that feels good. I bet it fucking does feel good. As you're throating that poor lady underneath you, I don't think there's a more horrific picture I can paint than that of a woman, a lovely woman. Like, picture your mom laying on her back in anticipation of 69ing from the bottom. And she's like, what the fuck? And she's got that look on her face like, is the search party gonna find me here? And then a man, a disgusting man, like me, is like, well, saddle up, here we go. And there's dingleberries and lint. And here's your mom, and I'm like, pop, pop, pop. And then if I do that, I hear, what's on my forehead? And I'm like, that's my gut. That's daddy's wet trash bag gut.
I saw a racial fight recently, which is terrible, but I watched it. How are you not gonna watch? You're gonna watch every fight, you know? Fights have that weird quality. Fights are kind of like hand jobs, and that like, you don't really want one, but you're like, well, let's see where it goes, you know? Like, will you give it a kiss? No? All right, so yeah. Had to take a shot. So, I'm in Philadelphia, walking through the park in the middle of the day. Beautiful day in Philly, beautiful park. I'm walking through this park, and as I'm walking through it, I see a white guy, and he yells across the park to a black guy. He calls him a nerd. And when you hear that and you're in public, you're like, oh my God. die. That's your first thought. And then another black guy, I don't know if he lived in the bushes, but he popped out of the bushes. Like, if this is a bush right here, I just saw a black guy go, no. Not in my park, But it's like, no one else saw that guy. Only I was like, oh my God, I see that guy! Like that. And it became my own personal movie. I watched him line up like the honey badger. He was like, that one? All right. And he sprinted across the park and he tackled the white guy. So instinctively, I just went, get him! But it took me a second to realize I'm the only other white guy in the park. Yeah, so like 10 black people turned and I went, no! Him. Our him. And they were like, what? And I was like, I'm out, that's what. And then they killed that white guy. And for the record, I don't give a fuck if they did. You know why? There is no such thing as white guy loyalty, okay? I mean, there is, but those guys are obvious as they hold torches, but the rest of us... are not having that shit. And let me tell you something, man. I'm jealous of interracial loyalty, because I see it. You know, if you're white, you see it with other races. Asian, you see it with black people for sure. What I'm talking about, there can be a dangerous situation. Let's say it's a fight, and there's a black guy in that fight. And then another black guy that doesn't know him will go, I'm gonna involve myself. Just on account of us being of the same race. At our core, we are brothers. I see that, and I'm like, wow. Because when you're white and you're in that situation, you're like, fuck that guy. I don't know that guy. Do whatever you want to him. I don't give a shit. Let you do something like that guy in the park and then look at me like, hey man, are you gonna help out? You should know something. You're about to get murdered, okay? I will fucking take pictures as you're beaten and upload them, hashtag honky, hashtag dead honky, fuck you cracker, I'm out of here. Now, a few years ago, I was in Washington, D.C., and I was sharing a cab with a woman I didn't know. Never met her before in my life. We're splitting the cab. Midway through the ride, as I'm looking out my window, I hear the woman go, hey. And I thought she was gonna be like, hey, like you wanna fuck or something? And I was gonna be like, I can't, I'm married, so make it quick, all right? I look over, I'm like, what is it? And she goes, is this yours? And she's holding a wallet. And I go, no, it's not mine. And she goes, oh, it must be the previous rider's wallet. I'll just give it to the driver. And I go, don't do that, look at him. He looks like a cab driver. He probably smokes crack every once in a while. You can't trust these guys. I go, give it to me. I'll get it back to the rightful owner. And she goes, really? I go, yeah. She gives me the wallet. Now I feel obligated to find the owner. But here's the honest to God truth. I really want to. I've always dreamed about finding a wallet. I don't know why. I dreamed I would find a wallet, I would open it would have $1,000 in it, I would get it back to the rightful owner, and it would turn out to be like Will Smith, and then he'd be like, do you want a helicopter? And I'd be like, yeah. And I'd be like, I got a family in Denver, do you like furniture? So I open this wallet, it has $2, a grocery store rewards card, and a community college ID. So I have found not Will Smith's wallet. But I still try to do the right thing. I call the grocery store, I explain the situation, and I go, can you help me out? And they go, no. We're a grocery store. We don't track people down. Eggs are on sale. Go fuck yourself. And I was like, cool, thank you for your help.
Then I call the community college, and I speak to literally every department in the community college for 4.5 hours. Before I finally get a contact number, I call the number, and a man answers the phone who I can only imagine has never used a phone before. Because he actually answers the phone with a noise. So just to break this shit down, I don't know if you've ever used a phone before, but usually when you call someone and they pick it up, they say, hello? That's fucking it. That's what people say when they answer the phone. Maybe if they're in a bad mood, what? Those are the two options. This man answers the phone, picks it up, and he goes, And I go, hello? And he goes, And I go, I'm gonna talk, and then you talk. And he goes, yeah. Like it was the first time someone explained to him how fucking phone calls work. Up until that point, he's just like, that made a noise, I'm gonna make a noise too. So I go, hey, I found this wallet. I was given your number. I'm trying to return the wallet. And he says, it's probably my son's wallet. He's always losing shit because he's a piece of shit. That's the first thing. I don't even know how to respond. I'm like, I go, well, can I give him his shit back? He goes, he's a real asshole. And I go, we're talking about your son right now? And he goes, yeah, I don't think he's gonna amount to anything. I go, Jesus Christ. I go, maybe he will amount to something if he gets his wallet back. And he goes, yeah, I'll let him know you called. And then he hangs up the phone without taking my information. So his plan is to go to his son and be like, some guy found your wallet. Yeah, I don't fucking know. And he's like, walk away. So I'm super frustrated. I try to do the right thing, right? I forget about the wallet. A year goes by. A calendar year. I go back to DC. I go in town, I call a friend, we go to a restaurant, just a random restaurant. We sit down, and the waiter comes up to take our order, and I go, Justin? And he goes, how do you know my name? And I go, dude, I have your wallet. And he goes, oh, do you have it on you? I go, no, I don't fucking walk around with your wallet. I don't go, I got my wallet and I got Justin's wallet. Now I'm ready to go out. No, you fucking psycho. And he goes, do you want to hear about today's specials? And I go, do you want to acknowledge that this is an amazing moment in both of our lives? And he goes, what do you mean? What do I mean? I found your wallet in a cab in DC a year ago. I don't know how many cabs are here, but I think it's a lot. I got told no 100 times by 100 people trying to find you. My hotel room used to look like an episode of NCIS. There was pins and charts connecting shit to each other. I spoke to your father, who's not a fan. I don't know if you knew that or not. I come to a restaurant at random. I get seated in your section, and I recognize you from your ID that's burned into my memory. You don't think that's fucking amazing? And he goes, we have a prime rib special. We also have a penne pasta. I can't eat. I'm like, what the fuck? He comes by, I go, look, I don't want to make a big thing here, but I do remember that I have your wallet in my bag in my hotel room. If you want to come by, I will give you your wallet. And he goes, okay. I go back to the hotel. I hear a knock at the door, and now I'm expecting him to lose his shit. I think the situation merits freaking the fuck out. I think he was playing it cool, and now he's going to be like, I didn't want to say this earlier. We should open a surf shop in Maui together. You know, or like, this is my newborn son. I want you to have him. Like that shit. So I hear a knock at the door. I open the door. I'm like, hey. And he goes, hey, you got my wallet? And I go, yeah. And I give it to him, and he goes, cool. And he turns around, and he walks away. No. It's not cool. So I open the door, and I see him about to get on the elevator. I go, hey, Justin! And he goes, yeah. And I go, your dad's right. You're a fucking asshole, and you're never going to amount to anything. And I shut the fucking door.